Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, yesterday in Pittsburgh, old Joe, Sleepy Joe Biden rolled out a $2.5 million so-called infrastructure plan that he wants to lay upon the American people and have it passed by Congress. You can't make this up. Only 25% of it actually would go to traditional infrastructure programs. But it is a con. And you know, this has been going on. It went on with Obama. It went on with, it's going on with Biden. And what it is, we're going to do an infrastructure. And the reason why is because on the surface, they think they can get bipartisan support and the American public support because everybody thinks to themselves, well, yeah, they're going to improve our infrastructure, our interstates, our roadways. Who can't be for that? But it's always a con because A, it either doesn't happen, or B, it's all some type of a bait and switch. Whatever happened to this $1 trillion infrastructure that Obama rolled out that Biden was in charge of? What happened? It was $1 trillion. Where'd the money go? Where was it spent? What roads in this country got improved? What bridges got fixed? I don't know. Do you know? Let's have a full accounting of that. But they use infrastructure as a con for spending. Let me tell you something else in here too. The little gimmicks. A civil climate corps. Biden wants to employ kids out there, students out there, to be part of some kind of a civil climate corps. Are you kidding me? Doesn't that just sound so socialist, communist, fascist? I mean, it's unbelievable what this country is turning into. And I've got more examples as I roll through today's show. As I'm going to keep saying now over and over, when do we hit rock bottom with this crap? It's scary. Number 3 on the day's report. Progressives actually want $10 trillion for climate change. Folks, we're blowing past $30 trillion in debt. The only way that's going to be paid back is through super low interest rates and inflated dollars. We're never going to be able to pay it back. Let me put this in some kind of a context. George Bush took our national debt from $1 trillion to $5 trillion. Obama took it from $5 trillion to $15 trillion. I mean, folks, we have to stop this spending. We are going off the cliff. It's that simple. The national debt, I've already mentioned this, is going to go over $30 trillion. If you do everything that they claim that they want to do, $10 trillion on climate, we're going to be at $45 trillion before you know it. And you know what, folks? If you go to usdebt.com, you check that clicker out, look at the unfunded federal debt obligations from federal pensions. The swamp is going to sink the entire country, folks. It's coming. Buy gold, buy land. That's my advice. You ready for this? Biden is going to take the corporate tax rate back up to 28%, which was what it was under Obama. Trump got it down. We are now going back to having a corporate tax rate higher than communist China. So our number one rival that we're supposed to compete against in the world has got a lower tax rate than us. We'll have a lower tax rate. Tell me how that makes sense. Tell me how that doesn't kill jobs. Tell me how that doesn't destroy the economy. Taxes in general. Folks, there's a great quote, and I think it was in a Supreme Court decision, that says the power to tax is the power to destroy. And it is. It is a devastating government function of taxes. And when taxes are too much or too burdensome, It's bad for the economy, which makes it bad for America. The border wall. How insane is it that we have a border wall under construction that's actually working, and soon as Biden gets in there, no more border wall. Forget about the border wall. We're going to stop construction. It's just like stopping the Keystone Pipeline. By the way, I heard yesterday they're still paying on the contracts for the Keystone Pipeline because they're obligated to, but they're just not building it. Government at its finest. Who voted for these morons? Who voted for these people? You didn't think this was going to happen? Where's Kamala? Kamala is appointed. These words came out of Joe's mouth. He said Kamala's going to be in charge of the border. What is she doing? It's all a con. It's the border con. You know what the border con is? That they think that they're going to try to fix this. They don't want to fix this. They want those immigrants pouring into this country because they feel like they're future Democratic voters that they can spread around in any state they can to try to flip them. Look what's happened in Texas. Do you think the gap between Republicans and Democrats in Texas is a coincidence? It has everything to do with the immigration that's gone on. That's their game plan. They say Kamala wants to focus on the symptoms. Oh my God. There's no symptoms. It's a real problem. AOC, you hear what she says? She says the border crisis is merely another white supremacy militant issue. That's what we're trying to make it. I want to tell you something. There is a price to be paid when we elect dumbasses to high office and you give dumbasses power. There's consequences for that. AOC doesn't have a damn clue what the hell's going on in the freaking world. And there she sits, the leader of an entire movement. Scary stuff. Very scary stuff. Do you think it's about time Biden tripped going up the escalator to Air Force, or the steps to Air Force One? Don't you think maybe it's time for an escalator? I think it's time that we get an escalator for Joe. Although I'd be a little bit worried about him when he steps on and off the escalator. You know, sometimes that can be tricky. But I think we need to forget about the steps. It's time for an escalator. Cartels. You know what they're doing? You know how they're getting their meth in this country? Just read a story about this last night. They're putting it in candles that are shaped like willy whackers. Can't make that up. Can you imagine how happy the cartels are generally right now? Ecstatic. Filming women in restrooms. There's a story out, I think it was at a Target, where somebody was filming. What kind of a sicko person gets excited about filming women going to the restroom? You cop a look or something? I mean, who are these people? Apparently, it's a massive problem going around the country. GM, Mary Barra. By the way, I am no friend or no fan of Mary Barra, the General Motors CEO. But I read yesterday a full-page ad. Read my newspaper. Boom, there it was. A full-page ad from black-owned media companies just freaking threatening her. I mean, it's scary stuff. But you know what? Until corporate America stands up to it, the tail's going to be wagging the dog in this country. There is something in philosophy called the fallacy of appeal to authority. It's a philosophical fallacy that when somebody's an authority, that means that they must be right. Somebody was talking about Fauci. You know, there's no bigger calamity that's ever come upon this country probably than Dr. Fauci. And everybody anointing Dr. Fauci as the know-it-all on coronavirus, and how he has misled us, misled the whole coronavirus response. His changing, well, this is what we need to do now. so forth and so on. He's been one big fraud, Dr. Fauci. A California Democrat is now saying police officers, prosecutors, the sheriff's department, they're all absolutely white supremacists. The whole gang of them. Why do those organizations tolerate that? You've got to push back. Everybody's got to push back. Lester Holt. I used to like this guy maybe 10 years ago. Lester Holt from NBC says, fairness is overrated. You don't need to give two sides of the story. Fairness is overrated. He is their lead guy. NBC News. Fairness is overrated. Los Angeles. Los Angeles is doing away with their gang unit. Now, my guess is gangs are pretty hot right now in LA. They're pretty popular, doing a lot of damage. What is it with the Democrats' infatuation with criminals? And I'm gonna do a special video for the weekend about the answer to that question. At least New York now has pot. You got Cuomo, you got de Blasio running all the businesses away, but you know what? Pot's now legal in New York. Maybe that'll change everything, and New York will be once again an Elysium of wonder. Maybe not. Wisconsin Supreme Court struck down the mask mandate. Isn't it funny how different courts rule on different things? You don't think politics are tied up in courts? Trust me, they are. Black business leaders are urging all corporations to fight against all new election laws that are going to stress voter ID. Folks, it's not about equality. It's about control. And you know what? They're feeling their oats. You don't think Black Lives Matter, these black politicians, these black left leaders, you don't think that they're feeling their oats right now? By golly, they're celebrating right now. And they say, man, we've got the white folks all white woke. We got them all feeling guilty about themselves being white. We have to strike while the iron's hot. Let's keep this rolling. They are revved up and motivated. And the time is, I don't know when we hit rock bottom. I thought white sheet music might be doing it. Delta Airlines, great example. They got a big hub in Atlanta. What do they come out? They say, oh, this voter ID is unacceptable. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? Because they're worried about the mob. They're worried about boycotts. They're worried about all those kind of things. Makes me sick. Biden's going to hold his first cabinet meeting. I hope there's video footage of it. I wonder if he stays awake or who actually runs the meeting. You watch it. Susan Rice will be on one side, Kamala on the other. It's going to be funny to see what comes out of that. Connecticut second graders have been exposed to a photograph of an erection. What is it about these Democrats? They want crime. They want they want to sexualize our kids. They want to. Democrats, I'm not kidding. The Democratic leaders in this country are evil, messed up people. Just think what they condone, what they want. They want to enslave us in debt. They want a crime to take us. Illegal immigration. I mean, everything. Everything goes. Everything goes. Even showing second graders that kind of disgusting stuff. Messed up. 100 fully vaccinated people in the state of Washington got COVID. Explain that to me. 100. I don't think I'm going to get it, folks. Biden's pooping dogs. First, they're biting everybody. Now they're defecating outside the press room. Can you imagine a big old German Shepherd dog pinching one off outside the press room? Big old pile. Oh, my God. The German Shepherd dog's running wild. By the way, this country, we have no problems except these Texas student activists are upset that some Easter eggs, some Bible verses were placed into them by an organization. Yep. Having Bible verses and Easter eggs. Easter eggs, Bible verses in them, a Christian holiday. That's what this country needs to be fighting back on. Yep, that's the issue. Just like white supremacy is the real problem we have for our military. SpongeBob. They're going after First Dr. Seuss, now SpongeBob. Will SpongeBob be rock bottom? He is below the ocean line, ocean level. He is down the bottom of the ocean. Maybe SpongeBob will be the finally bottom of the wokeness. Now, I got to ask you this. I'm going to do a video about this for the weekend. So I'm just going to tell you what it is. Why does one side want so much chaos and instability in this country, and who's behind it? Just think about that. Think about what's going on in this country. It's pretty scary. Chaos and instability. Who wants it? This weekend, you're going to hear why. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. You have a great day.